All right, good evening, everybody. My name is Reggie, and I am joined tonight by my co-host James, and you are listening to the Haitian Free Thinkers radio show here on Blog Talk Radio. Haitian Free Thinkers is one of the world's few groups for secular Haitians. It is where like-minded Haitians who are atheists, agnostics, humanists, and all the other fun stuff can join in and discuss topics with like-minded individuals. Like I said, it is the refuge from the religious world. This show is here to let people know that we exist. Also, I would like to point you to our Instagram. We have an Instagram account. We are on YouTube. We are on Facebook as a group as well as a page. So we're just trying to expand the brand and promote our devilish ideas and poison the minds of little children. Some of you believers think, but no, we're here to really just let Haitians know that if you are interested in the ideas of secular people, you have a place where you can talk to real life people who have been there, done that, and so we try to keep it light and fun, cover stories that interest us. So let's jump right into it. We have a 2-hour show today, James, so we don't have to rush it. And
okay. I actually won't be able to stay on that long.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm letting you know we have as much as is needed, but the next show is probably going to be the beginning of the 30-minute shows with a 15-minute extra overtime. So let's jump right in.
If we cut this one short, could we use the time for the leftover time for the next show?
No, it doesn't work that way. The way that the system works is that I'm looking at a countdown right now, and you don't accumulate time, for saving it or whatever. It just kind of goes away, and that's it. So the next show will be back to the 30-minute forecast, the 30-minute broadcast. That's what I meant to say. And also, I want to let everybody out there who's listening know that we will be switching to Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. starting on March 2nd, the first Sunday of March. We'll be going daytime so that we could engage more people. Hopefully we can get some more listeners that way. If you wish to call in, the guest call-in number is 646-652-4442. Once again, the guest call-in number for this show is 646-652-4442. If you wish to email us, you can email us at HaitianFREEThinkers@gmail.com. You can also call our Google Voice number, which is 678-820-9474. So let's start tonight. And how was your week, James?
Record just started, so I can't remember what it is. But my week's been fine, man. I was hanging out with my kids and everything. Valentine's Day went great. I don't know, man. These weeks go by fast. That's all I can say. They go by too fast.
Yes, it does go by fast, and I'm sorry that you're catching a cold, because I know what it's like, because I was sick not so long ago. So
yeah, we know Florida weather's crazy. One day it's like freezing cold, and the next minute it's hot, you're sweating, and then by the nightfall it gets cold again. It's just crazy.
Yeah. So my week has been fast as well. We had a couple of snow days because it snowed up here and the city shut down. So I was able to get in some extra family time, and that's always a good thing. Let me see what else. Today I participated in a webcast by the people of color beyond faith, and that was fun. There was Emmeline was part of that group along with Kim, who was part of the well, she was like the person behind the board, and Raina, a young lady named Shirley, another young lady named Kendra, and Monique. So I was like the only guy, and so that was always a good thing. And the sisters were beautiful as well as intelligent, so I enjoyed myself there. So that should be on YouTube officially by now. What else did I do? I made a couple of videos during my time stuck in the house for the Haitian FREE Thinkers YouTube channel, and it's in Creole, so I labored to make that happen. So for all of you listening, you can check that out if you understand Creole, because, you know, I want to do some stuff in Creole. And before I was like, man, my Creole is not that good, but, you know, I'm giving it my best shot. So, let me see. So, yeah, so that's what's going on. I read about the 3 cases. I just finished reading about the girl in North Carolina who got player hated on. So let's start with that story. So let us know what's going on with that.
Yeah, they basically, just like you said, like the player hated on her real bad. She just tried to get a group started because, you know, of course they got their LCA and everything like that. Future Christian athletes of America or whatever. So, you know, they have their group and they're called the God group or whatever. And she just wanted to start a secular group, you know. And they're thinking, you know, they're like, oh no, that wouldn't be good for our school. And there's no something sponsorship or something like that. Excuse me. No faculty sponsorship or something like they were saying.
Yeah, so they're saying that nobody would touch her, basically, and that she would not have the backing, because, you know, if you're gonna have one of those groups, you need a teacher or someone to say that basically they're gonna chaperone the group so that, I guess, the high schoolers don't start having an orgy in the classroom or whatever.
Exactly.
So, you know, somebody needs to stick their chest out there and take that. But as of right now, you know, she emailed all the big groups that are usually involved in that kind of thing, you know, Secular Student Alliance and Freedom from Religion Foundation. And, you know, the Freedom from Religion Foundation, I know, like, they're pretty angry, so they get results. So I have a high confidence that they will fix this, and this group will actually become a reality. But she lives in North Carolina, right?
Yeah, you know, that's like right there on the Bible Belt, you know.
You know something, like, people say the Bible Belt, but how many states? Like, what area does that cover? Because I'm not quite sure.
That like the southern southeast, from Texas, Mississippi, Louisiana, like Tennessee, and keep on going, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, of course, and then then you go to basically all that southeast region area, but you can stretch it all the way to Texas if you want to.
Yeah, I'm looking at a map right now. So basically everywhere you said, oh my goodness,
I'm telling you.
It's a really large area.
I told you it's all the way up to north, south, West Virginia, stretching into Virginia, all that.
Yeah, the map has Texas. It has all of Oklahoma. It has Arkansas. It has most of Missouri. It has southern Illinois.
See, I didn't even know it had all those states.
Yeah, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, North Florida. South Florida is not red for some reason.
See, you know, let me tell you why. In Florida, the region is kind of backwards. The farther south you go, the more northern people act and live. And the more northern Florida that you go, the more southern they act, actually. It's kind of backwards in Florida.
Okay. Let's see. So you have both Carolinas. You have most of Virginia. You have Kentucky. You have the southern part of Indiana. You have a little bit of Ohio. You have West Virginia. And that's pretty much it. So, yeah, so that's the Bible Belt. And I heard about that term, but I wasn't really sure exactly what all that area they covered. But basically, when I think Bible Belt, I think of the South and I also think slavery. So it's not a good association. Like, to me, like, I would not want to be associated with that kind of thing.
Yeah. To me, when they say the Bible Belt, it stands for. To me, that sounds like good old boy system. Like, I'm not saying racist or maybe racist, but basically pro-white, everything Christian. We used to own slaves, and we wish y'all were still slaves now. Type of, that's what I think. That's what I think of when they say the Bible Belt. Southern Christians.
Right. So basically, it's a classic case of discrimination, and when the reporter tried to get in touch with the people, he was unable to get in touch with them because they got hit by the snowstorm. And apparently, the young lady's father is involved in the local humanist group, which is interesting when you live in that kind of environment where it's very religious. But hopefully. Right?
No, I was saying, yeah, I read that about the father, but he sounded like, he knew, like he had already told her, like, this was going to be like an uphill battle. It sounded like he already knew it was coming, and he was just basically trying to prepare his daughter for the fight that she may have to go through.
Yes, that's exactly what I got from the story as well. So I want to let everybody know that you can call in at 646-652-4442. The guest call-in number, once again, is 646-652-4442. And we come on every evening, well, we've been coming on every evening, every Saturday evening at 11:30 p.m. Feel free to give us a call, and we'll put you on. Big shout out to Tony, wherever you may be out there. You know what I'm saying? He said that we should put a note saying that we are moving, if we do move, and we have decided on Sunday morning at 11 a.m. so that we can, I guess, catch the church crowd. But Tony, hope you are doing well wherever you are. Our homeboy from Ohio. So I think the case will end up going to her favor. It doesn't really matter if it's North Carolina. And, so, in fact, I think I'm going to get the young lady on the show.
I'm sorry, what?
The young lady that we're talking about?
Yeah.
She might even call in. Who knows? She's asking for the name of our show, so our friend and her. So that's the power of social media, man.
Oh, you found her on Facebook or something?
Yeah.
Oh, that's positive. That's nice right there.
Yeah. So either she calls in or she hears the show later. But whatever happens.
If not, you can let's set her up for maybe an interview or something like that later on.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna say her name online right now because I'm not sure how safe that is. But
exactly. And plus, she's still a minor too.
Yeah, she's a minor, and this is a case. There's legalities involved, and we don't want to compromise our situation. So, but I just let her know that we're talking about her case, and we're pulling for her. So she was like, "Thank you very much. What is it called?" So I posted the link to the live feed of the show right now. So if you're listening, enjoy the show. If you want to call in, the call-in number is 652-4442. Once again, that's 646-652-4442. Yeah, I'm not gonna say your name or put your business out there, but you know who you are. So big shout out. And we are. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say, give her big ups if she's listening. Let her know that I'm proud to see somebody at such a young age, taking on such a fight like this.
Yeah, man. It's I mean, people don't understand what it's like to fight against a big cause, a big system, the big bully, the Goliath, if you will.
Exactly. Because it's one thing to be like, yeah, this is what I am, and I don't care if you believe it or not. But it's one thing to be like, this is what I am, and I want to change some things around here. It's the same, but it's different. You're still brave for coming out and saying that you're atheist, but for another thing to say, hey, I want to change some things around here, that takes another step, because you're not just sitting there taking action.
Oh yeah, because it could have some effects on you, but I think today, hopefully, people are a little bit more receptive, and I think that they are. But also, everybody has a camera on their phone, so hopefully you can record whatever is happening to show that there's evidence that you have people that are maybe bothering you or harassing you. But either way, I just hope that everything works out fine. And speaking of people that are doing courageous things, I think that a football player from Missouri,
Michael Stamps.
Yeah, Michael Sam. I think he's doing a brave thing.
Yeah.
His name is still in the news, and they're saying that, oh, well, if he doesn't get picked up by somebody, they could always use that as an excuse that, because he's gay, he got drafted. But I'm not even looking at it like that. I'm looking at it like, he decided to do something that's novel. And in my mind, I'm like, this shouldn't even be an issue in 2014, but for...
It's crazy.
Because here's my thing, kid. We're just born, I understand some people are uncomfortable with gay people, right? But which is more spooky, right? You're in the locker room with some guys. You don't know their sexual orientation, but secretly that guy that you're joking with, he's totally gay. Like homeboy, feels on himself. He wants you, or would you rather know and you listen? Let's get something really straight right now. I think you're very brave in everything. But if I catch you looking at me real funny, or just be like, hey man, I'm not gay or whatever, I would rather know is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would totally rather be in the know, than to have somebody all buddy kick in with me and they're just behind that mask that they're putting up, they're totally thinking of something else crazy. Because you never know what somebody's thinking in their mind. But I'd rather to be around that brave person, honest person, who's a person who's honest with themselves first of all, and then brave enough to be honest with everybody else.
Exactly. Now, the only reason why I would accept that person who didn't tell me that, I'm not saying that just because people are gay and they hang out with straight people, that doesn't mean that they want you. But
exactly.
If the person says to me later on, well, you did make that joke and I felt like it was time to tell you, but obviously I need you to keep this between the two of us. But it's getting really uncomfortable in the locker room. So I felt that you are cool, Reggie. I know you're a cool guy, so I'm gonna let you know. But please don't tell nobody. In that situation, I would have to say, okay, I respect, the situation, and your secret is safe with me. But I would have told him that, hey, you know what, I don't care what you do as long as you just handle your business. So there's some similarities between Michael Sam and the young lady, but either way, I just think that in 2014, these things should be non-issues, but obviously they still are issues.
It is, and about another thing about this story, the guy is brave for even coming out, first of all. He's doing it before he's entering the draft, So he's basically, when you come in that draft, you're going to know all about him, before you even go in the draft. They don't have to really do any interviews about his sexuality because they just put it out there. Look, okay, I'm gay, and it is what it is. And it's not really an issue. His teammates at Missouri, I think they really showed, like, the prototype or like team of, okay, yeah, we have a openly gay player, and we're cool with this guy. We still hang out with him. We're cool. We accept him for what he is. And I found it very, very disappointing when the New York Times talked to his father, right? And his father had the nerve, like, openly in front of everybody, in front of the world, say, basically, I'm against this. And black men have so many hurdles, and basically make it seem like this is another hurdle black men have to face, being gay and stuff like that. Like,
Hold on. I kind of heard about the father, but are you saying that we have video or audio of him saying this? Or
yes, we have. Yes. New York Times has quotables of his father saying he was against it, and he was like, basically, this is my son's lifestyle. This is not my lifestyle. Basically, trying to separate what his son's sexuality is from, him, and basically saying he was disappointed in his son for, choosing to be gay or whatever like that.
That's crazy. Now I'm going to play conspiracy theorist, right? Do you think the news people found someone that was against him, that was close to him on purpose?
No. I think the news people, what it is, it's a story, and they know how a lot, in the black community, especially the black community, there's a lot of homophobic people, and people are not with gay, gay stuff, not with gay people or LGBTQ community. They're not friendly with them. So, of course, the news people are going to be like, well, you know what, everybody knows how he feels. Everybody knows how his teammates feel. Let's see what his father and his mother feel like. His mother supported him and still love him. But then the father, who's not with the mother, they're separated and everything like this. So then next thing you know, they ask the father, and the father's like, I'm not with that. And he didn't get that from me and all this stuff. It's just crazy. And I just found that like very, very like like disgraceful, really. And then, but also too, it makes it for a hot story now. Just like with Magic Johnson when they found out his son was gay. The first thing everybody wanted to go, let's see what Magic Johnson feels about this. And he has, let's go figure out what he feels. Let's go. Everybody started interviewing Magic Johnson. Everybody was like, okay, I've been to my son was gay. And I knew when he was a little kid,
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not an issue for me. It's an issue for y'all. Like, basically, this is my family. I still love my son. So what? He's gay. So what?
You know something that you brought up that I didn't even consider. You said that basically the Missouri team, the staff, and they handled it with such class and maturity that
exactly.
You want to say that if college kids can handle it, why can't the NFL
grown adults can handle it?
And it's that whole, it's the locker room culture, which means it's a pass to just be clowns or whatever. But it's going to change because of the Richie Incognito and Jonathan Martin situation too.
Yeah.
But eventually, you know what I'm saying, like, they're going to have to have an official policy that says Roger Goodell's going to be like, let me hear somebody say, yo, I got hated on or whatever because I was because of my sexual orientation. I'm a blast you. That's what he needs to do.
Well, in a way, he can't really control what the general managers and the owners of the teams do, especially like different teams in different states. They have a different atmosphere and a different culture. So it depends on what that general manager and what that owner knows about his team, if that player is going to be accepted. Now, if the general managers don't pick him up on the team or they don't want to pick him up on the team, they might be actually protecting him because they know what their locker room is like. If I get this guy here, I already know there's going to be some lawsuits, there's going to be some issues because these guys over here, I know what, I have to bail these guys out sometimes on the weekend, or it's just crazy. So so they might be actually protecting him by not picking him up and not going to certain teams. If you have to, I've thought about that one too. And so if they don't pick him up, it's not because they may have an issue. And the commissioner runs Goodell, but I think his own brother, is actually gay.
What?
And so, yeah, his own brother is gay. So he's actually LTGP friendly. And he won't let nobody like openly say anything like that around him. And he will fine people. Just like when the football player last year, he was supposed to go do something, and he said no homo, which a lot of people, people say if you say something that sounds remotely gay, then you say no homo, basically saying like I'm not gay. So just for him saying that, a firestorm media and everything like that started coming on him, and I think the commissioner said something to him then, and after that you don't hear him saying nothing no more.
And you know what, James? That's why you're in the show, man. You bringing that now. I did not even know about that. But if you're listening, and I know some of you are listening. We have a special person listening to the show right now. You know what I'm talking about. The guest call-in is 646-652-4442. Once again, 646-652-4442. I want to be considerate to you, James, to let me know how long you got left in the tank. It's about 11:57 right now.
I'll run it for about another 15, 20 minutes.
Okay, so just let me know. So, yeah, I didn't know about Roger Goodell's brother being gay, and the no homo thing started off as a joke. I've used it too. I'm not even going to front.
I have as well too, because it will. And sometimes you just do things without even thinking about it, just going along with the culture, especially the culture of hip hop. And sometimes you do a lot of things not even thinking about it, but then after a while you were like, you know what? Because I remember a guy on the radio station, it was a rapper, he said that, no homo. And the guy at the radio station was like, hold on, dog, let me stop you something. He's like, man, look, we are all grown men. And we can't have a simple conversation without saying that, without nobody thinking that somebody's gay, whatever, through conversation, that we can't be sitting here talking that. So he's like, just relax, man, and just talk.
You know how I relate to people who are like on the outside looking in is from my experience, as an immigrant coming here from Haiti, which kind of ties into what we try to do, what we ask, or what we're going to try to do with the Haitian Free Thinkers thing that we talked about offline. But when I was in middle school, like using the word Haitian was the worst thing you can call somebody. So
wow,
you don't say you stupid, F you. You don't say B-I-T-C-H.
Oh, man.
You say you dumb Haitian. Everybody like, yo, you call me a Haitian, son? It's like, yo, it's on.
It's on and popping.
Yeah, and it's like sometimes the person is Haitian, but they're undercover. You blowing their lead and all that kind of thing. So
man.
I remember walking behind some kids, and like one kid was cursing out the other kid, and he called him every other name. And the kid didn't react, and so he called him Haitian. And so,
oh, man.
And so I remember those days. And so, like, if you are not Haitian, and on the outside might be like, so like, I don't know, like you might say, well, kind of toughen up or whatever the case is, but they don't really appreciate what it's like when your demographic is used as a dirty word or whatever the case is.
Exactly.
So I would like to be corrected if I ever say something that's offensive to somebody. And most of the time I'm not gonna sit here and make apologies about, oh well, it's all for jokes and context. I want to really understand where you're coming from, and I want to make that adjustment. So, but those are little things that you don't think about until somebody does something brave and courageous and corrects you on it. So that's wonderful.
That reminds me of a story one day in class. Do you remember the jokes back in the days, are you a smart American or a dumb Pollock?
No, I never heard of that one.
Yeah, when I was a little kid in elementary school, they used to always be like, are you smart American or a dumb Pollock? You'd be like, I'm a smart American. Then they'll ask you a question, and if you get it wrong, they'll be like, oh, you're a dumb Pollock.
What is a Pollock?
And I didn't know that Pollocks were from Polish people, Polish people.
Oh.
I from Poland. I didn't know that people from Poland were called. I didn't even know there was a country called Poland. I didn't know there was people called Polak. And I remember the teacher was like, that joke is very offensive to Polish people. I'm like, who are Polish people? who are these people? Polish who? Polu? You know, and then she brought out the map, showed us who Polish and Polak, and so she was like, that's a very disrespectful. That's like almost, she's like, that's actually almost like a racist joke. She made me feel bad.
Yeah, sometimes it's done out of sincere ignorance, you know what I'm saying? And you did the right thing by feeling bad and making that adjustment. So, you know, as long as you make that adjustment, I think, you know, you're okay, you know. So sometimes you didn't know, and I think that a lot of the NFL players, they cannot hide behind, oh well, it's just locker room talk anymore, because they just gotta be aware, you know. But it is what it is. Cause my thing is like, my last comment about this whole Sam thing is that I think they allow female reporters in the locker room, probably not while they're naked, but like they be having their shirts off and stuff like that, you know.
Oh, I think they've gone in there naked, but boy.
They probably okay. So if
they consider that all investigative reporting. They don't care. They got to get that story. They want to get that raw emotions right after the game, and those guys walked around probably with nothing on, and those ladies act like they didn't see nothing, and they keep it professional.
Well, I think that would be the same kind of a situation, so to speak. But like I said, whatever problems that people have with the situation, I think it can be worked out. So I mean, they just have to be mature about it. So, okay, let's talk about the hot topic one. What's the guy's name that shot the kid?
Oh, Michael Dunn.
So what's the update with that?
Well, okay, there out of the 5 charges that they had going against him, he was found guilty of 4 of them, lesser included charges, as far as like firing in an occupied dwelling with a firearm, and with a firearm in commission of that crime. Also, I think that was like maybe three counts of that, and maybe 1 more count of attempted manslaughter, and he was found guilty of that. But the real charge of the first-degree murder, they found him. They couldn't find. There was a hung jury on that one. They couldn't come to a unanimous consensus or a unanimous decision on it.
Okay, now I read up on the story via Facebook. Somebody.
Can I say one more thing too?
Yeah, sure.
The special state prosecutor, I forgot the lady's name, and the main prosecutor, well, one of the main prosecutors from the Trayvon Martin case, were the same people who tried this case right here.
You think that's a coincidence?
No, I wouldn't say it's a coincidence because I'm pretty sure like the state, they have high case loads, and you know there's only so many lawyers for so many different levels of felonies. You know you have certain ones that deal with nothing but capital offenses, and you have some that deal with on mainly third or second degree cases.
So you said that the crime happened in Florida, right? Jacksonville?
Yeah, it happened in Jacksonville, Florida. Some teens were at the gas station playing some loud music, getting some gas, doing what they do. The guy just came from a wedding, him and his wife, or fiance at the time, actually his fiance. They pull up to the gas station. She gets out to pay for gas and everything, and he basically gets into it with the teens about their loud music. He called it thug music. And as they get into it, he pulls out a 9mm and he shoots it 10 times. As a matter of fact, while he's shooting, the teens, they actually drive off to try to pull away to get away from him, to get away from the guy shooting. And he's trying to say he used a stand your ground self-defense because he said he thought he saw a shotgun in the car, and he actually told the police officers he could have been imagining that he saw a shotgun. His fiance said when we went back to the hotel, he ordered pizza like nothing happened. Once she saw the story on the news, that's when she called the cops and was like, "Hey, we're gonna come down there." And they came down there, they explained everything inside the story, and then that's when he was basically he was arrested then. And he had so many inconsistencies in his stories.
Yeah, I've heard people talking about that, but I'm trying to figure out for the things that he got convicted of, I guess. What's the worst time that he's gonna do?
Oh, basically, he's gonna get life on. because like Florida has 10-20 life rules, law, which means no, they have 10-20 life, 10 years for just brandishing a weapon. Okay, that's 10 years just for brandishing it. 20 years for pulling the trigger, no matter if it's at somebody or anything, and life if they die or whatever. Like I said, basically, if you commit a robbery and you have a firearm, they can give, depending on what you do with that firearm, they can give you 10, 20 to life with it.
Right. So in this case, somebody did pass away.
Oh, so he's gonna get life he's gonna get life. No, actually, for the charges that he's been, let's see, 10, 20 life on the 4K. Yeah, he's gonna get life. They can give him life because he shot at them, he hit them, or I guess he missed them, but he can still get at least 20 years for each on all four of those. See, so he can get a maximum of 120 years.
Well, I mean, I thought that the Trayvon case was going to be against Zimmerman at the end, but Zimmerman didn't. He walked away clean. So I mean, we just gotta wait and see what the sentencing is.
Yeah, but Florida, they have well, every case is different, but Florida, from what I've seen, if you go to trial with Florida and you lose, they tend to try to max you out.
Well, we'll see. I want to remind everybody that this is the Haitian Free Thinkers radio show. My name is Reggie, and my co-host is James. The guest call-in number is 646-652-4442. Haitian Free Thinkers is one of the world's few places where Haitian secular people can gather. We work or do our thing mostly on Facebook. That's where the group is. We have about 180 plus members at this point. I mean, we get like members every day, James. So, but anyway, so you can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Blog Talk Radio. Obviously, we have a YouTube channel. So we're just trying to get it out there, let everybody know that we exist. We're friendly, we're smart, and we keep up with the news. And so you sent me this story about the Jesus Christ or the deaf pastor who now says he's atheist. What's up with this situation right here?
Yeah, basically, he came out to the people that he was that he was, I guess, congregating to, or in the ministry with. He basically came out and told him that he basically doesn't believe in the Bible anymore. He basically is an atheist now. A lot of them are coming at him saying that he wasn't a Christian in the beginning. He wasn't a Christian to begin with or whatever like that. And I don't know. He just said his faith in God was severely shaken, and then he just started having doubts about Bible claims. And that's basically, I just wanted to share a story about him because it is simple. It just goes to show you that in just planting one little seed, or somebody just having one little idea or thought that's different, and it just has a domino effect on everything else that they've ever been taught, especially about religion.
Yes, so the story that you sent me, I read the whole thing, and what was curious about the story, the length, was how it was written. Let me read you a clip. I think the author of the story is a hater. See, that was another thing that he said he had a message for for the people, I guess for Christians. Who, the author?
No, the pastor, the deaf pastor actually.
Oh, is it the video that's embedded in the link?
Yeah, basically, I guess he just wanted to come out and just wanted to be real with him, like he couldn't do this no more.
Yes, but the person who wrote the story that you sent me, I think, is a hater, is what I was trying to say.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
Because I'm going to quote the story. You can tell, like, sometimes how the person feels about the story by the way that they write it.
I didn't really get that feel. I guess from me reading it, I was actually in a rush reading, but I didn't really get that feel. But go ahead, explain it to me.
Okay, so listen to this and tell me what you think, right? This is a quotation.
Okay.
And the author's name is Billy Hollowell. So he wrote, quote, and that's the name of Justin Volmar, the former preacher. He detailed joining the independent fundamentalist Baptist sect at age 18 and his eventual transition to the belief that there is no God.
Wow.
So I'm going to ask you so I don't put words in your mouth. Like, when you say that you're an atheist, does that mean that you believe that there is no God?
No, actually, just like at the beginning, that's what I thought it was, and I was like, you know what? If there's a God, because I don't know, like I'll listen to Matt Dillahunty, and like he has a lot of stuff I agree with. You know, he gets me through a lot of questions sometimes, and he said something like, no, actually, atheist doesn't mean that we don't believe in no gods. It's just that we don't believe in any gods that have been presented to us. You know, and it's not like our minds can't be changed. Our minds can be changed. You know, but it's just that the gods that have been presented to us, we just don't accept those.
Right, and I think some people have a difficult time of making that distinction. I personally address the issue like this. I tell people that, and this might be really weird to hear, but I say people that I know that there are gods. I tell them I know. I'm very definite. I know that there are gods, but what I tell people is that the gods that I know of are all fictional characters. So when you hear about Zeus, you hear about Jesus, you know about Allah, those are characters that humans created. It's not like an external thing. It's not like some planet in some far corner of the universe where somebody says, can there be a planet really far away? I can say maybe, maybe not. I don't have any evidence that there is, but there's a possibility. I'm not going to tell you that I don't believe that there's this planet out there because it's a silly statement. I don't have any evidence for that. But all the guys that I know of are characters in books or stories. Some are popular and some are not. So that's how I would characterize it. And the other thing that the author wrote that caught my attention is, quote, he was hunted by so-called contradictions that he couldn't get past.
I did read that part.
So when the person says so-called contradictions, it gives me the impression that the author of the piece doesn't think that there's such a thing as a contradiction in the Bible, but you and I know that there are more than enough contradictions to point at, but I just thought that this person was a little bit salty that this guy came out as an atheist. So
exactly. Well, see, they want to talk about contradictions, but that was what made me deconvert. Like with the contradictions in the Bible, I just couldn't agree with it.
Okay,
like,
for those
these are God's own words, and He's saying, "Let's make man in our image." Our is plural. That means more than one.
That's correct. Well, you know what the Christians say about that passage, right?
No, what do they say about that? I guess the Holy Trinity.
Yep, that's the Trinity. So still, that doesn't really satisfy me. So the Trinity is talking to itself. It's talking to itself. Like it's like Jesus. It's like hey Jesus, I'm going to make something in our image, and even if and I tell Christians this is the way I would approach it. I say, so if Christians know that this is the Trinity, how come you don't just erase our and put Trinity? Or you know how like when you read a Bible, they put the little A that says like there's a note at the bottom.
Yeah.
So I would say if you're so sure, put your money where your mouth is. Put that little A and say that this refers to the Trinity. You know what I mean? So no Bible that I know of does that. They're just pulling crap out of their booties, because the reality is, from my studies, is that the Jews used to be polytheists. They used to have many gods, and so they they chose the Yahweh God, and that's really where that comes from. But that's a whole different story. But I didn't get a chance to see the video that's in the story. I'm gonna see it probably tonight. But one of the comments at the bottom of the piece that drew my attention was one person basically saying that all the answers for the questions that the former pastor brought up are in the Bible, and that he's okay. This is the response I'm talking about. This person wrote, all his questioning has answers in the book of 1 Corinthians, but the answers to, quote, what happened to him, end quote, are found in the parable of the sower and the seed. Sorry, but his fall unto unbelief isn't going to shake my faith. It only underscores the greater need to, quote, preach the word, end quote.
They always say something like that.
The infant in season, end quote, as 1 Timothy says. Now, I want to know, are you familiar with that parable called the sower and the seed?
No, not at all.
It's worth reading. It's from Matthew 13, but tonight I played it for Valerie, and she made an interesting point. I'm going to try to paraphrase it for you, but basically Jesus was talking to the disciples, and he says there was a guy that was sowing seed, and he threw some seed on the hard road. He threw some seed that fell into an area that has a lot of thorns, and he threw some seed in an area that had good ground, like a good soil. So he then explains that the seed that was like hard, like the road, the seed sprouted, but it didn't last long because it didn't have good roots, a place to stick its roots in. And he's like, those are the people that I guess they had doubts maybe. And then he said that the seeds that were in the thorn, those are the people that let like life, trouble them, like the worldly desire, etc. And then there's the seed that fell in the good ground. He said those are the people that are really true believers, and the word of God kind of flourished inside them, and they really took the message to heart, etc. And so Valerie told me tonight, she was like, so doesn't that kind of say something about the person that's throwing the seed? Should he have been careful to make sure
where he throws seeds?
Yeah, and so the person who's throwing the seed is obviously either you can say God, or perhaps the Christians that are spreading the word, if you will.
Exactly.
If you do a terrible job of presenting the story, or you meet someone who is a critical thinker, it's not their fault that they notice contradictions.
Exactly.
And
their fault for not having a more believable story.
Right.
Plausible story.
So she pointed that out, and I didn't think about that angle, but yeah. So I mean, even Jesus, like in retrospect, when you read his stuff, there's a lot of stuff that there's a lot of stuff that he says that makes you say like, WTF, what was he thinking? Because during that story in Matthew chapter 13, he sounded like a cult leader, which he kind of was.
Yeah.
But he was like saying like, oh, basically you're lucky because a lot of people have ears but they can't hear. They have eyes but they cannot perceive what I'm trying to tell you. So this is the secrets of the kingdom of God. So that's Matthew chapter 13 for all of you out there who want to verify what I'm saying. But of course I'm kind of paraphrasing it. So
hey, Rich.
Yo.
Hey, my phone is going dead, and I'm going to go ahead and take it in.
Okay, cool. All right, so we've reached the end of the show by default. But if you got to go, just go ahead and hang up. And thank you for the time, because I think I'll hang out for a little bit more.
Okay, no problem. And I'll catch the rest of the show on the podcast.
Okay, no doubt.
All right. I want to tell everybody good night.
Good night.
All right.
All right, so James is offline now. If anybody's out there, you can still talk to me. The guest calling number is 646-652-4442. Once again, that's 646-652-4442. I'll be here solo until somebody calls or I decide to hang it up. But I have some energy tonight, so I think I'm going to fly solo for now. Tonight's broadcast was over 30 minutes, and the way that it works is our show is usually about 30 to 45 minutes, but we have bonus time, and I think this is our last show with the extra time. So if you wish to call in, this will be a perfect time because the lines are clear. Check chat line here. And yes, it's kind of late, 12:22 in the a.m. And the chat room is empty. So we covered some great stories. I learned a few things tonight, and that's what it's all about. Haitian FREE Thinkers is trying to spread information because a lot of us love to learn, and I love to learn, and so that's that. Okay, so upcoming stuff. We talked about moving to Sunday morning at 11 a.m. That will be starting on March the 2nd, the first Sunday of March. And hopefully we get to engage some new people when they're awake. This show is registered or identified for iTunes so that you can pick it up from the iTunes store. So just look for Haitian FREE Thinkers and it should be there. If not, then just type in Haitian FREE Thinkers radio show and you should see it on the Blog Talk Radio archive. And that's how you'll be able to listen to all the older episodes. I think this is the 17th show or so. I got to verify that. But so we have a handful of shows that are archived, and most of them are just as interesting as this one. Not all of them are about an hour long, but we do have some good stuff in there for you. So upcoming next week, we'll have more news and views. As always, we'll talk about some of the same stories, just to give updates, and James and I will cover what happened in our week, things that are interesting, etc. So more of the same. I'm going to try to keep working on making those videos. I'm working on videos that are in the Haitian Creole language, although my Creole is not the best. I heard me try, but I think it's worth it. So that's the plan. And besides that, we're just going to keep trying to get more guests onto the show. Today I had an interesting conversation with two gentlemen who are extremely smart and well-read about different topics. This is Black History Month, as many people know, and we were talking about basically Martin Luther King, how he's perceived, the things that most of the people in the public do not know. For example, today we were talking about the Vietnam War, and I was told that he was against the war. But I think I heard about that, but I forgot. But basically, when I think of Martin Luther King, I think of someone who's painted as a pacifist, a non-aggressive type. And he won the Nobel Peace Prize, and he got his monument in D.C. All right, just passing along some information. So he's looked at as a very friendly, religious figure who doesn't want any trouble, and you know, the I have a dream persona that's very cuddly and non-threatening, basically. And I've always thought that that's the reason why Martin Luther King is more popular than Malcolm X, because Malcolm X is looked at as someone that's a little bit more radical and violent for whatever reason. So we have a guest caller, but the call dropped. If you can call back, that would be great. Yes, so Malcolm X is looked at for some reason as being violent and just scary and all that. And I think it's because Malcolm X, especially in his early years, was a little bit less compromising. But we'll see. We have 828 on the line. Hello?
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
This is Kaylee.
Hi, Kaylee.
Hi.
Are you enjoying the show?
Yeah, I am actually. I was enjoying the talk about the equality of that guy's son. I think it was that he was homosexual.
Yes, there's a football player named Michael Sam who basically came out a few days ago as gay, and he was like telling everybody that his team knew and everybody was cool with it. So now he's trying to go to the NFL, and he just wanted to let everybody know that he was okay with being gay and basically just deal with it. But James told me that somebody in the media searched out his father, and basically the father was like, he's not okay with the homosexual lifestyle, I guess. So that's basically just the... I'm sorry?
Got rough on him?
Yes, but I've heard strictly from radio sources that it seems like he wasn't close with his father and his family. Like when he would have time to go home, he would sleep with at friends' houses and stuff like that. And I don't know the full picture, but obviously, if the father is not super supportive, you can imagine that they don't necessarily get along when it comes to that kind of a thing. But the father, I think, the father is definitely not gonna, benefit financially from his NFL future, because he might be getting some money and all that. But obviously, I just wanted to compare the story to being brave, and appreciating someone that's taking a bold step to do something that could inspire other people in the future. So.
Yeah, it is. It's a good thing to be brave and stick up for what you believe in.
I read about the story, and I don't know, like how much can be discussed because of legalities or whatever. But is everything going okay with the case?
Yeah, the attorney told us today or yesterday, I don't know what day it was, but they told us that we can start the group, and we will be starting that here in a few days, just because we've had snow days lately, so we've been out of school. But I'm going to be starting the group, and I'm going to have a lot of members.
Well, that's wonderful. So, the story that I read said that there were people who are already interested. So it wasn't just going to be you and your brother. How did you meet these other secular type of people?
I'm sorry? What?
I wanted to know, how did you meet the other people who are interested in the group?
Oh, they read my story, and they contacted me through Facebook. And I know them from school, and they come up to me and talk to me or message me and let me know that they support me and they want to join the group. And some of the messages are really nice.
Oh, okay. Do you know what the next closest group to you is, like as far as school wise?
Like the most related, like relative
So
group?
like as far as like the distance, like let's say in your town, like is there like another group kind of like what you want to do that's
Yeah,
close by?
there is a group, and it's an equality group, but it's mainly just like homosexuals and just people like me too who go there. But I wanted mine to be based on secularism and teach people about being skeptic.
Okay, that's wonderful. The story said that I think it's your father was already part of a group, and he's very supportive, correct?
Yes.
Oh, okay, that's awesome. So, do you think like you're gonna get some of the same people from the other group, the Christian group, to come visit you guys, or you think that's gonna create some kind of separation?
I really hope so. I hope they come to like learn about what an atheist is, that we are not devil worshippers and we are not horrible people, that we are actually good, but we're good without a God, and we are, and just how we think and how it makes sense to us, so that we can help them relate to us.
And I don't know how long you've been listening to our show, but that's what I'm trying to do. I'm out of school, but the thing with our group is that we're trying to let everybody know about, the same things, but for the Haitian culture. I don't know if there's any Haitians that live around where you live, but basically our culture is very religious, and not a lot of people know that there is such a thing as an atheist. So it's kind of different.
I'm confused as to what a Haitian is. Very religious, you said?
Haitian people are very religious.
And are you Haitian, or are you the group that is letting Haitian people know that atheists are good people?
I was born in Haiti, and I came to the United States when I was 9. So I am Haitian.
So you're very religious?
No, I used to be religious, but I became an atheist in 2009.
Oh. And what changed that for you?
I became an atheist because I read the Bible.
That's what happened with my dad and me. He sat down.
You read?
Yeah, the whole Bible, like from the beginning to the end, and it just contradicted itself way too much.
Okay. Yes. So I read the whole Bible, but it took me some time to do it because I had to take breaks from it, and I was reading different books and talking to different people, and it took me about, I would say, 3 to 4 years to complete the whole thing. I don't really remember, but I eventually read the entire Quran as well. So I try to tell people that I put in a lot of work to try to, I guess, make sense of everything. So, but at the end, reading the Bible is the best way, I think, to make an atheist. So
I think my dad would completely agree with you.
And it's so strange that, people who read the Bible lose their religion, but people who don't read the Bible, they are the strongly religious people. So it's almost like we we have to try to get them to read their own book. And how do you do that?
Well, you won't get all of them to, because they don't want to believe anything an atheist has to say, because it's all about faith and having faith in the book. And they're only fed the little stories that are the good stories in the Bible, and some of the bad, but they try to make sense of them in crazy ways.
Oh, okay. Yes, you're right. And I watch a lot of videos on YouTube about religion, and I pretty much have heard all the excuses that they make. But it's still amazing that basically they're not reading the book. I mean, it's not very difficult, but it's very difficult for them to take the time, I guess, to hear.
I have a question.
Sure.
In Haiti, where you lived until you were 9, right?
Yes.
They still believe in their God. You guys believe in Jesus Christ, right? That you did?
Some Haitians do believe in Jesus Christ, yes.
In the Bible it says that God, helps anybody and can see everybody at any time of the day in any struggles. But every day in Haiti and in Africa and in all these places, there are babies dying from sicknesses, but the babies didn't do anything wrong. So why wouldn't God help them? I don't know why they wouldn't gather that from their own senses.
Well, that's a great question. It's kind of like the problem of evil. I don't know why some Haitians still believe in Jesus Christ or any of the other gods, but I think the answer is that whatever good that happens to them, they give credit to Jesus, and whatever bad that happens to them,
they blame the devil.
They blame the devil, or they blame themselves for being sinners. So that's probably how they're able to keep up with that.
That makes sense.
Yes, because Haiti has Christians. They have the Catholic Christians. They have the Protestant Christians, and they have people who believe in other religions, including Vodou. When I was growing up, we were told that people who practice Vodou were bad and evil, and so you already have a group that's in the nation that you can blame for all your troubles. In other places, like in Africa, there's people who are trying to arrest and harass people that are gay. So you always have some group out there where it's in some places where you can blame them for not getting your wish, So I think that's one excuse that they may use.
They have so many excuses, and the biggest one is faith. You have to have faith in God to know that He knows what He's doing, and He's doing everything for a reason.
Exactly. Everything has to happen for a reason. But the next question for me is, what is that reason?
What is the reason?
Yes, I would ask myself, what is the reason? Because if you tell me that everything happens for a reason, if I don't know what the reason is, then it's pointless.
Yeah. And, the whole God works in mysterious ways. You bring a baby onto this earth, and you kill it through sickness and pain, and there's supposed to be reason behind that. Why bring the baby in the earth in the first place?
Exactly. But when you meet with the Christian people, have you ever asked them that question and see what they say?
What?
Have you ever asked your Christian friends that question to see what they say?
Oh, yeah, I asked them.
And what do they say?
I have asked my friends about it, but most of them won't give me a reason. They just kind of say, well, it's my God, and they'll just trail off into different conversations. And, I mean, I understand it because it's not something that they fully understand yet. Like, how are they supposed to understand it if I didn't even know it a year ago because I was born and raised to think like a Christian?
Okay.
So and it makes sense because they are, like, I don't blame them for not being able to answer it just because they are, I don't know what word to use for that.
Basically, I think you're trying to say that they're so used to it that, when you ask certain...
They have been indoctrinated to think that everything happens for the certain reason of God because God is. And God is doing it for a specific reason that they can't know about. And that's what they're taught.
Exactly. I will be following up with the situation with you. Or if you remember me, please feel free to let us know how you're doing. It's now, yes, it's 12:41 a.m. and I thank you for calling in. You were very kind, and I think it's gonna work out. And so we'll catch up with you.
All right, thank you.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Bye. All right. So this is a wonderful caller. I'll let you know who that is if you couldn't make it out. It's the person from the story. So thank you for calling. I really do appreciate it. But it is getting late. It's 12:44 a.m. So I'm going to let everybody know again that this is the Haitian FREE Thinkers show. My name is Reggie. My co-host is James. James had to go about 20 minutes ago. Our show usually comes on at 11:30 p.m. every Saturday, but we decided to move to Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. starting on March 2nd. That is the first Sunday of next month. And from then, we will be doing our show every week on Sundays at 11 a.m. That way that you'll get the opportunity to, get some rest, eat some breakfast, get your questions ready, and everything. You can contact us at HaitianFREEThinkers@gmail.com. You can look Haitian Free Thinkers on Twitter as well. I forgot to mention that we have a Twitter. Let me see what else. We are on Facebook. Just look up Haitian Free Thinkers and you'll find the page and the group. So we are pretty much everywhere. We are on YouTube. So we are trying to make it happen. So that will be all for tonight. I want to thank everybody for listening. Look for us on iTunes as well. If not, you can always search for the Haitian Haitian Free Thinkers radio show on Blog Talk Radio, where you can listen to our old shows and catch up. So that's all for tonight, and I'll see you next Saturday at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. That's next Saturday at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a good night.